the road towards Craigieburn at the back of the airport.
Oh, yeah.
And then when they put the airport in, they cut that road. So the airport went across it. But if that road still existed, I'd be at the airport inside 4 minutes. Straight across through the gully.
Bloody Vic roads.
I quite like doing, I don't know if you guys, nobody's probably, well, Andy Allen would be, but the others may not be familiar with Wayne's World, the movie. Have you guys heard of Wayne's World, right?
Of course.
Do you remember that scene where like the plane flies over his head? There's a part you can kind of go to Tullamarine and you can park and the planes go straight over. It's quite cool.
Yeah.
So every now and again I've done that. Probably not that often, but it's...
Well, where that T-junction is, Steve, so you've got the Sunbury Road.
Right.
And you've got the other road which is heading off towards Oakland and Craigieburn. Where that junction is, if you come from the Craigieburn direction, you have to turn left or right there. Okay, so you got no choice. You either go left by the side of the airport, or you go right out to the country.
Yep.
That's the road that used to go straight across.
Ah.
And there was a lane. It was only ever a dirt track, and it came out right where King Road is, off the Calder.
Yeah. There you go.
And that doesn't exist anymore. But that they took that out because of the airport. And that's the road I want back in, because it'd make my job of getting out to the Hume Highway a lot bloody quicker.
That's going to mean very little to somebody like Ben over there in well, I was going to say Midland, but you're not Midland, Wanneroo in Perth. How are you, Ben? How was your weekend?
Yeah, it was all right. Didn't go out, so quiet weekend in. We're a happy Hammer.
Oh, all right. Hammer's got up.
We won, so we're a happy Hammer.
How did United go, Haley?
They got lucky.
The worst game I've seen in actually a long time. The worst game I've seen in a long time. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Well, actually, Andy Allen is pretty big on his and I'm not gonna. I should know, but I'm gonna, to avoid embarrassment of getting it wrong, just tell me who you're big on.
Well, I'm very happy. We're only in second because Liverpool won at the weekend, but I'm a Spurs boy.
Good. Oh, there you go. So Jakey as well. Actually, Jakey's a player as well. There you are.
Now, Lily Whites will take out a big call this year. We're going to take out the Premiership this year. After the 2-0 beating City at the weekend, we looked really good.
And drawing 3-0 with us and conceding 3 goals in the last 10 minutes wasn't too good.
Liverpool win again.
All right. I reckon we've got just about everybody on, and I think we've heard everybody, at least from a mic check point of view. I hope you are all well and had a good weekend. And,
Steve, I've got work at 9, so I've got to duck off. I've got to finish up at 8:30. Is that right?
I have no idea what time that would be here, but yeah, 8:30.
That would be 11:30.
Oh, we'll be done.
Oh yeah, well that's basically our knockoff time. So yep, that sounds. You'll be straight off, basically, is what you're telling me.
I have to dip out at the same time, Ben, so works for me.
Sounds good. All right, let's get cracking then. All right, Adrian, what are we doing today?
Okay, well, we acknowledge that we are on traditional lands of the Kulin Nation. We offer our respects to the owners of these traditional lands, and through them all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, past and present. So today, here's our agenda that we're going to be going through. Just for Andy's sort of perspective, we'll be running through a little bit of the systems, Diffy Social systems first, and then we'll sort of go into our introduction. So you'll have a 60-second introduction to introduce yourself, and then we'll go through all the marketers as well. And then after that, we'll have some presentations that we'll go through, including your presentation. So we have Hannah is presenting today, so just sort of quickly go through these next few slides. So just stating that sort of our mission is to really protect and build relationships and help our businesses grow with social media marketing. And this is just all about the long and versus the short tail sort of perspective that we look for within our clients. Yep, and these are just sort of the services that we provide. Hannah will be talking a bit more about it later on. as well as our sort of infographic that we use to present with our social media marketing model that we provide.
Having listened to Hayley present and rewatched the recording, I then used some of Hayley's wording in my presentation last week. What I liked was that Hayley said, "This is our tried and tested model." I like that. Thank you, Hayley. All right. Yep. So it's pretty exciting. We're really getting to the point now where everybody just about has a BNI home. So we've got Anthony has an application in with BNI Prosperity. So he would be our Friday morning with me in Melbourne, and we've got Jake with an application into BNI United, and they meet Thursday. Well, I guess they're probably, again, Jake, they would have been knocked back to online. Would that be right?
Yeah, they're trying to work out. I should hear back from them either today or early tomorrow morning about whether they're going to be online this week or still in person.
Just so you guys know, I actually did a bit of homework over the weekend, and under our networks now on the website, go and check it out. But basically, not only do we sort of say where you guys are at, but we've actually got those BNIs now with details and WBN, Andy, just on our website as well. So, and a few of the other sort of things that we network with and are involved with. So have a look at that if you get the chance this week. That'd be awesome. And the other thing, when I was talking with Adrian around setup today, he mentioned, in actual fact, Andy Allen, you would be aware of this, but Kim in his chapter does the education piece each week and often will bring up a podcast or, or something that she's seen to share with the group. Someone had assigned me this podcast, and I don't know if others have seen this, but it's about power spheres, and I'd really suggest you might want to check it out. I've got it down the bottom here. It's called How to Build Your Power Team and Buy a Ferrari. Right,
Yes.
and I think it must have been from a recent conference, but initially it's this Polish guy talking, and I'm thinking, wow, why would someone refer that to me? But the more it goes on, the more you warm up to what he's actually saying, and it makes a lot of sense, right? Particularly when we're new in BNI, and I think for those of us that aren't new in BNI, it really resonates because we've all been new at some stage, right? So there is that element of he really talks about the things to do well, not just around power teams, but the things, if you want to go well in BNI, there's certain things you have to do. And the real thing that stuck out for me is like he kept on sort of going to the consultant and sort of complaining about, his chapter. And the guy who was ever the director or whatever was saying, look, do you want to be right or do you want to do more business? So basically, he kept complaining, saying how useless these people were and how they weren't doing that. And the guy was saying, yeah, you're right, but you need to do something about it, not me, right? So anyway, it's quite good if you get the chance. And also for you guys, as I said, Adrian will kind of highlight, if in our ones-to-one in the week, if there's educations that you've come across now in the Business Builder app, if you want to just share it. So we've maybe put one up so that others could have a listen to each week as part of our CEUs that you found something that you thought was quite good. Okie doke. From a celebrate wins, we'll talk about this in our 60 seconds. I think it's good. Everybody sort of, but the sort of overview, if you like, there's a few things that always stand out when I'm meeting with you guys. Clearly, we've got our new brochure that's out and about that you can share that willingly. I forgot to put it in the chat for my presentation on Friday. But now when you're meeting with people or if people are showing an interest in you, please send out that new brochure. And it's clearly up to date with ourselves on it and our information. And particularly people, Andy, Ellen's age, my age, and maybe a decade younger, they love a brochure. There's nothing better than a little, something tactile, right? And that steps us through with what goes on. I can see he's unmuted. Do you agree, Andy? You love a brochure, right?
Yeah, I mean, brochure's fine, but I don't know. I think I've embraced digital in the last.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Well, that's it. Yeah, that's true. I wasn't to belittle you whatsoever. I was just stereotyping us a little bit. Oh yeah, and the other thing I wanted to say is clearly it would be remiss of me to say welcome back, Jake. We were pumped to have you back. So awesome, mate. Great that you're back and great that you're fitting well. And yeah, we're really pleased to have you back in the fold and holding up an end for us in Adelaide. It's awesome. So I think Adrian's gonna just do a quick.
So, as all of you would have met Andy just briefly a little bit earlier, he is the travel guy from my BNI Yarra chapter. As we were doing a one-to-one last week, just from our conversation, I thought it would be good to invite him along today, just to meet all the marketers. It would be good, I think, for everyone to sort of get those connections. And based on having Andy here today, our sort of marketer intros will be talking about where is your most memorable travel experience as well. Just sort of ties in with a bit of Andy as well. So, Andy, if you can introduce yourself and let everybody know a little bit about you, just a 60-second introduction.
Yep. Yeah, well, thanks very much, Steve, Adrian, and the team. Good to be here this morning. My name's Andy Allen from Travel Connections is the company. Our tagline is a smarter way to book travel. And whilst in the normal times, we specialise in booking complex travel arrangements for the leisure market and corporate travel management for businesses that need their staff to travel on business. That's what we normally do. We, like many other travel agents at the moment, are relatively unemployed because there's not a lot we can do, although Tourism Australia's just whacked up a big campaign to promote Australia, and we're linked into that, like most other agencies, to promote domestic travel. It's not really a big bread and butter winner for the travel trade, but it is something that we're working on to keep our brand out there in the marketplace at the moment, with customers that are going to travel for the next 12 months domestically or maybe into places like New Zealand. So within BNI, of course, we promote the fact that we want to work with anybody that's interested in traveling domestic at the moment. And that's it from me. And as I would always sign off, without a travel agent, you're on your own.
One of the best known taglines in BNI, I would think, at least in my journey. Just so you know, Andy, sometimes Huong will be in the background, but Huong is my partner, and she helps us out a little bit when she can. And she actually came along to my BNI presentation. That was the second time she'd been to BNI in 7 years. So it was actually quite nice to have her along for a bit of support on a Friday, which was cool. As Adrian's already said, this week we're going to touch off about memorable travel experiences. Everybody had a chance to kind of give that a bit of thought. All good? All right. Must be my turn to kick off then. My name's Steve Hubbard and I am your social media marketer for Dify Social here in Footscray, Melbourne. I'm originally from Fremantle in Western Australia, so I'm a son of the West of the West. My most memorable travel experience would have to be sailing on a felucca from Luxor to Aswan on the Nile in Egypt. It was incredible. And so, that's mine. My wins for the week, as I said, I gave a presentation, which it was my second presentation to my BNI. I was pretty happy, and I was very happy with the people that showed up. I was particularly happy with Roy coming along and giving us a very, very nice testimonial. And I've shared that with Emily. And this week, based on having Andy here and based on the obvious, I would love to work with a four-wheel driving type company or a travel intrastate Victorian type company that is taking people out into the bush or along the coast here in Victoria. So Steve Hubbard from Dify Social. And now it's to you, Adrian.
Thank you, Steve. I am a marketing graduate from VU and I'm your Dify Social media marketer here in Maidstone, where I have lived, worked and played for 7 years. Now, this next one is quite difficult because there are a lot of good memories from traveling. I would have to say my favorite one would be from studying in Canada. That was a lot of fun. My win for the week would be getting Andy along today, inviting Andy. And this week I would like to connect with builders. So if anybody knows any builders within Melbourne, please let me know, as we are looking to build our contact sphere trades in my chapter as well. So next up is Andy Do.
I see what you did there, Adrian. That was a good play on words.
Hi, I'm a marketing graduate from RMIT University, and I'm your Diffy social media marketer here in Sunshine North, where I've lived, worked, and played my whole life. My most memorable travel experience was probably when I visited Japan for the first time, so the culture shock was just crazy. My wins for the week would be attending WBN as a member for the first time. This week, I would love to work with and for lawyers. So if anyone knows any lawyers, please let me connect. Up next is Anthony.
Morning, everyone. So I'm a bit asthmatic at the moment. I'm a marketing graduate from La Trobe University and here in Epping, where I've lived, worked and played for the last nearly 5 years now. My most memorable travel experience is when I went to Brooklyn, New York. That was just unreal. Definitely want to go back there again one day. My wins for the week is actually having a conversation to a couple of people about what we do here, which is good for my confidence to speak about it. And they seemed really interested. So that was a win for me. I'd really like to work with and for businesses, maybe in the golf industry, so like maybe a golf club, something like that. And so yeah, I'm looking to connect with those people, maybe a golf pro as well. Up next is Hayley.
Good morning, everyone. I am your marketing graduate, almost, from Monash Uni, and I'm a Diffy social media marketer here in Malvern. My most memorable travel experience is, I'm going to stick with Adrian, but probably my year abroad in Leeds in the UK. That was pretty crazy, pretty fun. My wins for the week have been having a few one-to-ones, getting to talk about Diffy and attending BNI. This week, I'd really like to work with people in the health-related sphere, like physios, all of that. We're looking to build that in our chapter as well. Next up is Emily.
Thanks. Good morning, everyone. My name's Emily. I am a marketing graduate from Rutgers University, and I'm currently studying at Griffith. I am your Diffy social media marketer in Holland Park, South Brisbane, where I have been since January. I'm originally from New Jersey. My most memorable travel experience would be I took myself to Greece for 2 weeks. Just went by myself. Should have consulted a travel agent, though, because definitely missed out on some cool things. Did not take enough tours. But I actually was out sick this week, so I don't have any exciting wins. But I actually have a one-to-one at 11 today, so that should be good. My BNI is looking for a realtor, so I would really like to work with and for businesses in real estate. So thank you. Up next is Hannah.
Thanks, Emily. Good morning, everyone. My name is Hannah, and I'm a marketing graduate from QUT, and I'm your Diffy social media marketer here in Brisbane, where I've lived, worked and played for 8 years. My most memorable travel experience would be climbing Lion's Head in Cape Town. It was really steep, climbing up rocks, and it was the view was amazing. And my win for the week would be inviting and having attend my first visitor at my BNI. And I would really like to work with and for businesses in the events industry, so florists, makeup artists, etc. And next up is Jake.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to be back. My name is Jake, and I'm your marketing graduate from the University of South Australia, and I'm your Diffy social media marketer here in Adelaide, where I've lived, worked and played for the last 8 years. And originally I am from country New South Wales. My most memorable travel experience is probably spending a week in the Norwegian mountains and spending a kind of weekend at the Norwegian seaside, which was pretty amazing. My wins for the week was setting up a one-to-one this week for a new potential client, which is really exciting. And then who I would like to work for this week is hopefully people in the content creation industry. At my BNI, we need a photographer. So I'm looking for local photographers in Adelaide this week. And up next is Ben.
Good morning, everyone. I'm your marketing, advertising, and PR graduate from ECU, and I'm your Diffy social media marketer here in Wanneroo, Perth, where I've lived for the past 14 years. My most memorable travel experience, albeit a very long time ago, because I haven't been on holiday in around 9 years at this point, was going to Europe with my year 12 school group and traveling around. My wins for the week. I've got my first audit and consult on Thursday with a client. That's happening on Thursday. And also I've got a chat tomorrow with a business coach who I connected with on LinkedIn, who I'm hoping to also invite to our BNI chapter. So that's really good. And this week I'd like to work for small hobby shops. So all those unique sort of hobbies and knickknacks.
Awesome. I love it. What a great round of, it's always fun to go most memorable travel experience. I saw Ben go, oh, damn it, I'm going to have to listen to all these people show off again. He's going to get out there at some stage again soon, though, I reckon. Rightio, Adrian, who's been listening?
Okay, well, I know Jake usually takes notes, so I'll ask him, since it's your first week back. What was Emily's most memorable travel experience?
Going to Greece for 2 weeks, but you should have booked a real estate agent.
Yes. No, she shouldn't.
Travel agent.
Travel agent, sorry, not real estate.
Although it's probably not a bad time to buy in Greece.
Real estate was my other one, though, so you're not wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
So the reason why I chose Emily, because I wanted to say, without a travel agent, you're on your own.
That's it. Exactly.
And I was. He's not wrong.
Yep. Okay, Hayley, what was Hannah's win for the week?
Her win was she had her first visitor come to her BNI.
Yes,
that's right,
that's correct.
And Andy, who is Ben looking to connect with?
Ben is the only one I didn't write down. I kid you not.
Everyone
else wrote down except for Ben. Can you name someone else?
I'm the last one on the list.
I know.
Hobby shops.
Hobby shops.
They've covered off. That's good backup by another Andy. I will take that. We'll accept that. All right. I think it might be time to stretch. Who's got it? I've got a 9:20 game of volleyball tonight, so I need a good stretch beforehand. You got us, Emily, you're our stretcher.
Every week it surprises me, and every week I know it's coming. Here. It's hard to think of ones you can do at your desk. A lot of mine are on the ground. Okay. Let's just roll our shoulders back. And then roll them forward. And then if you can, do the same thing with your whole arm now. And then forward. And that's your upper body.
Upper body's good. All right, I like it. Okay, I'll just go back to sharing my screen. Give me a second. And rightio. So this week we've got as our Diffy social marketer presenter is Hannah. Hannah is our social media marketer at Diffy Social and is based in Newmarket, Brisbane. Hannah, along with 9 other passionate marketers across Australia, oh, that must be us. Hannah is a Bachelor of Business and Media Communications graduate from Queensland University of Technology. Whilst completing her studies, Hannah set out to gain experience with the marketing industry by completing various internships, including at a social sports company, public relations firm, and at a large online clothing store. What's the name of that store, Hannah?
Beginning Boutique.
Okay.
Just like online.
Good stuff. Have you got any? Do you have any of the gear yourself?
Yeah, they gave me after my internship like a massive voucher that I got to spend, so that was pretty good.
Awesome. And Hannah's burning desire is to advance her skills and expertise in marketing and public relations, eventually hoping to one day create and own a business within the fashion industry. Something not many people know about Hannah is that she's half South Africa and has visited the country numerous times to visit her dad's side of the family. Her key to success is staying true to herself, letting her passion and excitement for life drive her towards achieving goals. Awesome, Hannah. Over to you.
Okay, I haven't timed it yet, so this is a bit of a trial timing. But anyway, here we go. So good morning, everyone. As you're aware, I work for a social media marketing consultancy called Dify Social, where myself and 9 other university qualified marketers work remotely with small businesses from across Australia. Before I dive into all things Dify Social, I wanted to introduce Hannah when she's not social media marketing. Trying to sum up myself in one slide was going to be hard, so I tried to capture some of my favourite things and people, as well as how I implement Dify Social's values in my everyday life. At Dify Social, we follow values when working with and for small businesses. These include have fun, do good, passion, integrity, innovation, community, and B&I's givers gain. At Dify, we believe it's important to have fun and do good, something my mum would probably say I have too much of. I love to spend time with my friends, and you'll often find me going on beach trips, attending events, or visiting bars around Brisbane in search of the next best cocktail. I adore travelling and often love to immerse myself in the different cultural communities when I travel. Both Bali and South Africa, where my dad's family is based, is often a family favourite holiday destinations. I find myself to be someone who is an all or nothing type of nature, which is why most of the hobbies I take up I quickly become passionate about. I enjoy being creative, and in my spare time, you'll find me cooking, playing the piano, or writing blogs. Next slide, please. The final 3 values I haven't mentioned are integrity, innovation, and givers gain. At Dify Social, our mission is to protect, build, and grow small businesses using social media marketing. To do this, we rely upon the innovative techniques of online communications and are always looking to find new ways to grow and be better. Our purpose at Dify Social is to gain competitive advantages for businesses using social media marketing tactics. At Dify, we don't do smoke and mirrors, and we always practice integrity when collaborating with our clients. Lastly, at Dify Social, we follow B&I's givers gain, not only in our own individual B&I chapters, but by committing to the success of all our small business clients. Next slide. Thanks, Steve. To attract and retain more customers for our small business clients, we strategically post to varying social media platforms whilst also implementing a Facebook ad strategy. By following specific social media marketing techniques, we achieve the objectives of protecting and building equity in your brand. We differentiate your brand and business from competitors. We be on top of mind with your target communities. And lastly, increase business development opportunities using marketing tactics and social proofing. Ideally, we want your customers to be intrigued and drawn from your socials to your website, where they can explore their interests and inquire about more information. Next slide. We offer our services as products and clearly outline all our prices on our website. For businesses looking to explore social media marketing, we offer an audit and consult where we analyse the gaps, but mostly opportunities for your business by utilising social media marketing. This is a one-off fee. This one-off fee is waivable if you decide to follow through with the setup and planning session. During this session, we social proof your business's website and set you up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and search engines YouTube and Google My Business. Finally, businesses can choose between an extra small through to small marketing management plan, which consists of 1 to 4 posts a week, monthly or bi-monthly reporting, and an engagement day where our marketer logs into your social accounts and reshares an audience-related post. Next slide, please, Steve. This is our Dify Social strategic marketing model, which outlines how we do business and provide our services. Beginning in the first section at the top left is your small business house, where social media marketing sits within communications. At Dify Social, we focus on communicating from people to people. We aim to improve the online presence of your business so you can easily communicate and connect with your target audience, your network, and your rivals. We consider ourselves to be an affordable social media service because we specifically only repurpose content and information from your website and share it across the 6 main social media channels. As mentioned, we also social proof your website for marketing communications by ensuring your social media accounts are easily accessible from your website. The Yellow Social Media Report tells us that there's an incredible opportunity for businesses online. However, less than 50% of small businesses have used social media and less than 13% have a strategy, despite the fact that 90% of Australians use social media. Next slide, please, Steve. At Dify Social, we win from the bottom up, which is why we love working with fun, essential and online businesses. It is important that the small businesses we work with know who their target customer is, have something really great to offer and are providing something that is unique. We especially love to work with businesses who are looking for a professional social media marketer, not an amateur happy to give their business socials to their niece or nephew who is always on Facebook. Next slide, please, Steve. So who would be an ideal Dify Social client? Peter and Peter are pictured enjoying a sunny day in Brisbane, are small business owners, roughly aged between 40 and 60. They have an amazing business that has been operating for quite some time, however find themselves confused with the new social media trends. They're beginning to worry about the new kids on the block who are up to date on the latest technologies. Since they are passionate about what they do, they would really like to maintain a competitive edge in the industry, so begin working with Dify Social. Next slide, thanks, Steve. I hope this gives you a better idea of what we do at Dify Social. We look forward to collaborating and hopefully working with you in the future. If you'd like to discuss marketing or potential fashion projects, please contact me via Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, otherwise a simple call or email. Thank you.
Whoa, off mic, well done.
I feel like I went too quickly.
Well, the good thing about that is, I mean, I think you did perfect, but you actually were given shorter time than what you will be given in your presentation. So you've got 10-minute, right? So we've sort of snuck ours down to 6 minutes, is what some of the shorter chapters is. So the good thing for you is you nailed it. That was perfect. I would have no criticism at all about the way that was just fantastic, Hannah. So
Thanks,
as you said, the benefit for you now is you could probably
elaborate more.
Well, either elaborate it or just sort of, you know, those little subtle pauses maybe at times, and just go,
yeah,
you know. So, but I thought that was. Anybody else got any feedback there?
I thought it was very, very good.
Thank you.
Very good.
Yeah, it was just really well done, Hannah. That was fantastic, and hopefully, your presentation is it's Wednesday
next week.
Wednesday
week?
Next
week.
Awesome. So you'll be well and truly sorted. Now, would you like me to stop? We're going to stop sharing from my end, aren't we, Andy? Yep. And you can share from your end if that's what you'd like to do, yeah?
Yeah, I'll share from here.
Perfect.
Pop that in. Hopefully this will work. Right, can everybody see this?
Here we go.
Yep.
We can indeed.
Yep, we got it.
Okay, excellent. So all right, well, first of all, get rid of that. Sorry. Good morning, and thanks, obviously, to everybody for the opportunity to chat today about travel connections and what we're all about. Firstly, just to cover a little bit about myself, I started my career, what seems an eon ago, on the counter at Thomas Cook in the UK back in 1978, and for some of you, that'll mean your parents weren't even a twinkle, I suspect. But there you go. And after working my way through various jobs in the UK travel trade, I eventually moved to Australia and opened Travel Connections back in the spring of 1997. Why do I do what I do? Well, quite simply, my motivation comes from a passion and a love for travel and experiencing new places, cultures, and peoples. My goal is to help others turn their travel dreams into a reality. And my current mission is simply to survive this damn awful crisis that we find ourselves in. Travel industry will not reopen really and seriously until early 2022. That's when we expect revenues to truly get back. That's just a fact of life. I'm not having a grumble, but that's where it is. So my goal is simply to survive this. Whatever you need, we've got it. Airfares, tours, accommodation, tailor-made solutions, cruises, corporate travel management. We really do it all. Travel Connections is split into two, with 50% corporate travel, looking after the needs of business travel, and 50% leisure. So why book with us? Well, I believe there's 6 key reasons. First of all, advocacy. We've got your back 24/7. Accessibility, we're not faceless. We're not just on the internet. Passionate, we love travel and we care. It is personal. Expertise, unbiased advice and guidance, saving you time and money. Privacy, your data is protected. It's not just out there on the Ethernet. and accreditation, peace of mind, knowing you're dealing with a reputable business through AFTA and ATAS, which is the industry accreditation service. Let's look at corporate travel. As I said, it represents 50% of my business, and I just want to show you how a corporate customer can save money. And this is a classic slide, and it's actually a true example. So we had a client who had a domestic travel spend of 200,000 per annum, spread across 440 transactions. For those trying to do the math, that's $454.54 on average per transaction. Most of it was domestic travel. The PA spend about 50% of her time booking travel, and as such, that costs, you work it out, 27.5 grand of her salary. She was on about 55 a year. Now, our charge to book to travel is $25 per domestic booking, plus still allow 10% of the PA's time for the new process. That would add up to $16,500. And so we have saved a company $11,000 by using us instead of their own internal person doing all their bookings. Now, that's the value of 24 extra trips to that company to make more sales. So that's the value that we give. A lot of people think booking through a travel agent is costing them money. No, it's not. It's actually saving them money, particularly in the corporate sphere. There's no doubt about it. Now, I just want to have a quick touch on coronavirus. I've touched on it already. It's going to be a long road to navigate before international travel really gets underway. The borders are open, of course, and as they do, we can help anyone wishing to travel domestically, and a few local countries in travel bubbles, such as New Zealand. However, long-haul flights to the likes of the UK, Europe, US, and South America are a way off. Unfortunately, guys, I think you've got to wait till late 21, early 22. So marketing mix, let's talk about where our business comes from. And just very simply, I want to talk about this. So repeat and referrals is our core business, I guess, where it comes from. We look after our customers. We make a real big effort to do this because there's no doubt about it. The cheapest form of marketing you can have is getting customers come back to you and getting them to refer their friends to you. My second big mix is the fact that I'm a member of the Hello World Travel Group. This gives us access to some fabulous deals. I have a Hello World franchise for my leisure operation, and there's no doubt about it, that drives an awful lot of business our way. Third and real important is BNI, Business Network International. I've been a member for 5 or 6 years now, 6 years I think it is, and the amount of business that's come through it's been really substantive. So I like Steve, I find the true value in BNI, and I just can't support them enough in everything they do. It's an important part of my mix. Finally, not lastly, but fourthly, the advertising. Advertising does play part of what we do. It's traditionally always been a big important part. I've done tactical ads in newspapers and various other means, and that's worked well with us. And last but by no means least, social media, but that's going to charge up because we're looking to do something seriously on social media over the next few months for sure. So what we're going to do now is have a little bit of fun. What I'd like to do is if Steve or if everybody can take themselves off mute, and we'll see how many people have got an idea to know where these places are. It's just for the kudos. Normally at BNI, I would run this quiz and I'd throw out the lollies to those that answer the first, but I can't do that on Zoom, unfortunately. So who's going to tell me where that is?
Mexico.
Yep, correct. So that is Chichen Itza,
Mexico, yeah.
Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico.
Italy.
It is Italy. Anybody got any ideas where about in Italy?
Amalfi Coast.
Sorry?
It's Cinque Terre, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Cinque Terre. Well done. That's actually the town of Manarola in Italy.
Oh God.
This gets everybody every time. You can't go further south other than the Antarctic. So this is Cape Horn, Chile.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, infamous.
Wineglass Bay, Tassie. No.
Close, but
Damn.
that is actually Horseshoe Bay. Yeah. In Tasmania. So very close by.
Ah, must look the same. Must have two names.
Come on.
India.
It is India. That is Varanasi. So for those looking for the Indian experience, Varanasi certainly is going to offer that, I can tell you.
Bath?
Yes. Well done, Steve. That is
Best I've ever done.
They are the Roman baths in Bath in the UK. Just shows you how much there is to see around the globe. This is the Nagorogora Crater, which can be found in Tanzania. And I love throwing this one in because nobody ever gets this.
Wow.
Okay, so this one, if somebody wants to try and pronounce that, is Ashislipa, which is a wilderness area in New Mexican.
Yeah, New Mexico.
Northwestern New Mexico. So quite a famous structure, and archaeological find there is phenomenal.
Sorry, guys.
So thanks for that. Okay, so my ideal referrals really. Bread and butter, anyone wanting to book anything travel. My cream is corporate travel and luxury, and my dream is corporate travel accounts trading at over 300,000 per annum. Currently, though, I would add anyone wishing to travel anywhere in Australia or the local destinations such as New Zealand as they open up. Quite happy to have any referrals. And here's a slide that I like to give as well, which is basically what to listen for our referrals. You've got your planners. They would come out with something like, we need someone to manage our company's travel, or we want to get away on a holiday or a cruise. You got your braggers. We travel a lot for business, or I often travel for overseas. And then you got your complainers. We seem to be spending a lot on travel and our agent is useless, or my travel is complex and difficult to organize. They're the sort of cues to listen out for. And again, I'll say, if you've got a travel agent in your chapter and you're looking out for them, these are the sort of things to listen out and help to refer over to them. And from me, thanks for listening. And as I always say, don't forget, without a travel agent, you're on your own. Thank you very much.
Very good, Andy. That was great. I must say I probably have heard a few of those, but you've that was really good. Anybody, I mean, from just the way that you laid out your presentation, I think there's plenty of takeaways for all of us, right? In terms of that was really succinct. There's a lot of interest value. It was sort of why you made it very simple, to clarify your two main sort of functions. So that was a tremendous presentation. Well done. That was great.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, anybody have any feedback? Anybody have a travel agent in their chapter at the moment, other than Adrian? Clearly.
Really? Good. Mind you, having said that, Steve, I think at the moment there's an awful lot of travel agents have pulled out of BNI in the last 8 months. The no revenue means that they've had to hone in every bit of cost. I took a different view. I think marketing's important to keep as much as you can going as much as possible to keep your visibility, credibility there. And I think that's key. Times get tough, but you've got to have a face. So I believe BNI is a really important part of my mix, which is why I continued my membership. But I think you'll find as soon as this is all over and early 22 comes along and those agents that have survived it, the revenues start flowing again, I think you'll see agents come back into the mix, and they'll be good to go after and get one into your chapter, definitely, because they'll be looking for business, and they'll take it whatever which way.
And it's probably a good reminder for all of us that there's opportunities there, and just having somebody like Andy along does remind you, there are people clearly. I was just on the weekend, it reminded me up in Wangaratta, the ones that run the hot air ballooning type tours, for instance, or whatever it might well be. I'm sure there's opportunities for people, if for no other reason, just to invite them along to visit, and you can clearly say, look, we'd love to hear more from somebody that provides the sorts of services that you provide, to the community. And clearly, it's my way in thinking. I didn't know that you guys didn't have necessarily travel agents within your chapter, but my thinking is, for Andy, and I know you do this, Andy, but if you're going to visit other chapters that don't have a travel agent, well, you're the last travel agent they've probably seen, right? And so all of a sudden they're top of mind thinking, well, okay, I know somebody. I do know through the BNI network, right? So it is good to know others in all sorts of fields for our own chapters. Awesome. Thank you so much, Andy. That was awesome. We talk a lot about this, Andy. I'm sure you're sitting somewhere. Do you know where your position is on the BNI Yarra chart? I was very impressed by the fact that BNI Yarra has such a good chart on the right-hand side here now. So for us,
I'm actually, I hate to say it, but I'm second on that list.
You are. There you go. Well, well done. So you are a moving taker.
But then, Steve, I'll just add there, that's the power of giver's gain. Look, I've always believed in that. And, at the moment, all I can do is give. I'm not going to get much out of BNI because who's booking travel? Nobody. But I can give. And I've got a reasonable network. And I try and look for every opportunity and constantly be at it because it keeps you front of mind. And I think it's important. The higher up that list you are, the more credible you are for people to refer to you down the line. It will pay back.
Yeah, I think you're 100%. That's been my experience too. And what I'm noticing, even the chapters that all of us are in now, there's been a real move in BNI. Andy Allen knows well in terms of BNI Yarra. We were almost the inverse of that, right? Back in the day, I would say. Would you agree, Andy?
Yeah, we had the majority of people in yellow, chunk in red, and about only 4 or 5 in green.
So the pressure is on a little bit now. In our chapter, we don't even celebrate people unless they're 100. So it's kind of the pressure's a little bit on, but at the same time, as Andy just mentioned, it's not really about stats and pressure. It's just about the reality is that if you do the numbers, turn up, have one-to-ones, do your gains, all that sort of stuff. If you do things, you do the CEUs, then realistically you can't not be in green. That's the first thing. And secondly, ultimately, you kind of get the benefit of being and doing that realistically.
Yeah.
Cool. Probably no real focus on this specifically. I think we're just about all getting really, across our different systems. The good thing is when I'm talking through these with you, there's usually 1 or 2 things that probably come up from our one-to-ones. Main thing is I think most of you now, if not all of you, are now including that blind CC for the high rise to get the Dropbox putting, making sure that when you're sending emails out to any inquirers or BNI people that's then going through, just make sure that you're putting, you're tagging your own name to your own contact sort of thing within the high rise side of things. And when they are moving to a more the inquiry starts to move into that, I do want an audit and a consult, or I do want, set up a planning, then just CC the marketer at email address. So for me, so that I can help you and support you in that. Ben did a brilliant job. He mentioned last week. So he went through that process. And for Ben, for doing that, where he hadn't really been exposed in the last month or so around that, it was really good to go through that with Ben, and I think as a result of having done that with everybody else, Ben's was as good as any that has gone out, and it's great to hear, Ben, that you've got that audit and consult locked in for later on the week. That's awesome. Good job. But yeah, I think anybody have any questions or around systems at the moment? All good. Jake probably coming back on. Hopefully you should have no problems getting in on Hootsuite. Yeah, so in terms of for you, maybe the thing to be for today, because you'll probably want to go promotes, no problem. But maybe Andy, maybe just let Jake know when you're out of the shared Hootsuite, so that maybe Jake could go in towards the end of today rather than having to wait till what your normal time would be, Jake.
Yep.
That makes sense. Yep. Cool. All right. Well, as I mentioned, firstly, from a BNI perspective, we're really getting close. But now, as much as I'm not quite sure whether to position myself as an all-star from a state of origin perspective, or a big V, which I would never normally refer to myself as. But our big V meeting's now 4:30 on Tuesdays, and we're going to have, as I said, the All-Stars from Perth, Adelaide and Queensland. We'll do that as a 5 p.m. Tuesday meet now. And probably, particularly the last week or two, I think I've probably talked way too much, so apologies for that. What we'll try and make it is you perhaps feedback from your chapters. It's sort of almost an around the ground sort of thing around that sort of, particularly the the networking and the numbers and the winning business and any sort of support or feedback that you want to sort of give that you think might be able to help others in your state and or in these sort of, I guess for want of a better sort of scenario, it's kind of like our tute version of the lecture version where we're sort of sharing today. It's all about sort of sharing. These Tuesday meeting, the opportunity is really just to chat, get feedback from one another, right? And I feel like I benefit the most at the moment because a lot of you are giving it to me in that one-to-one. Probably just to remind me, Steve, what did I share with you again that you said was really, as I said, something doesn't spring up immediately, but often there's things that you're sharing with me. I go, I'll remind to share that with everybody next week, right? So yeah, use this data plays for that opportunity. We should send best wishes. Tiz got married over the weekend. Is that right, Emily? I think it was.
Yeah, I think so. I have to double check, but I'm pretty sure. That's
and
exciting
I guess,
for her.
yeah, and while it is top of mind, so Tiz actually married a guy who's got links back to New Jersey, right?
That's right. Yeah, he grew up there.
Yeah. And not only did you grow up there, you're kind of looking to maybe go and visit, probably online, albeit.
Yeah, it'll be online.
So that potentially, instead of just having Sydney, London, maybe what we'll need to have is Sydney, London, and Jersey sitting down below there. We'll have to work out what time that is, because if you're going, I might get up and or whatever time it is, or stay up, and go along with you.
Yeah, it's probably going to be, I would say, like 10 p.m. for you.
No, 10
we'll work
PM.
it out.
We can do that. Yeah. Let's work it out. We'll talk about that this week. But I'm sure if I want to go, I'm sure others might want to jump. But Anthony knows the territory a little bit, so he might want to jump on.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Cool. And then the other thing, because I guess we are all catching up one-to-ones, we probably don't need to do these after B and I check-ins, but just know that if we kind of got the LinkedIn message thread, if you ever do want to jump on, either direct message me or jump on that one, and we can always catch up after or any time really, the day that suits, just to have a quick catch-up. As far as this week goes, I went to the I'm Just a Man event last night. It was different to normal, but it was a bit of fun. It was good to see Lane Beachley, and she's a absolute legend, I reckon. Melissa came along to my presentation and may well even consider joining my chapter, so that's interesting. But perhaps consider, particularly in Victoria, consider inviting Melissa along to your chapter at some point. Yeah. Mainly, I think Victoria would make the most sense, but people are interested. And I don't know, Andy A, have you heard of Coin?
No, not at all.
Yeah, it's basically a digital currency. It's the guys that sort of started Bartercard sold out and then came back in again, and now they've been working on a digital currency. It's called Coin. And we use it. At least half a dozen of the marketers have a Coin wallet, and we've been working on a number of Coin projects. So it's effectively just, the best way to describe it, it's a bit like having a betting app, except that you can, even older people like me can understand it, because I go and I've booked Oliver's birthday party next Sunday at a local Lollipops play centre using Coin, right? So that was pretty cool. So yeah, I don't think there's anything. So we've got our brochure done now, so that's all good. Just a bit of feedback on the brochure. Thanks for giving feedback in the first place around getting that brochure now that we have an e-copy. Hannah reminded me that they can't even give out their business cards yet. Do you think we're best off waiting before we get brochures printed? what's your thoughts? I mean, maybe that needs to go to Adelaide and to Perth is probably where we've got an opportunity at the moment. I think we'll have an opportunity to maybe get them done. But Ben, you're going to get me some quotes. But maybe we hold off before getting them actually printed. What do you think?
Yeah, probably hold off until when we can.
So we've just reverted back to not handing out the business box again. We did have the business card box for a couple of weeks and a referral box and a referral slip box, and then they've just reverted back to it. I know a lot of members are still comfortable doing and handing out cards and everything. I want to do that stuff, so it might be worth it, or it might be a case of just hold off for a bit, until like we start when we start handing out business cards again and start handing out the business box and the referral box like consistently for like a month. Then I'll probably say it's safe to then print out the brochures.
So maybe in the All-Star states, other than Victoria, I don't think Victoria, we're not going offline anytime soon, and so there's no opportunities to really, other than when we're doing a one-to-one, potentially give them out. And we could talk about that tomorrow for our Victorian one, but maybe get a quote on having a couple of hundred done. Maybe Jake, you could do that as well. So just get a quote on having and Ben and I were talking about this, whether go to a sort of, so these ones were done in the past for me by Minuteman Press. So get a quote from, if you've got a local Minuteman Press, there's a quick copy up in Brisbane, get a quote from a quick copy. So maybe get at least 2 quotes. That's all I'm thinking. And then Ben has a relational one. I think with a lot of this sort of tactile type stuff, sometimes we might go for a higher price just because there might be a strategic reason for going with them. But in the main, we still want to be commercially make sense. What's the best kind of offer with what we're doing, right? So, yeah, if I could get you, particularly in Brisbane, Adelaide, and Perth, to get a quote on maybe getting 200 done up, that would be great. Awesome. All right. Well, I reckon I can stop sharing this screen. And Adrian, do you want to go around the room?
Okay. I'll start off with myself first. I've already done my scheduling for this week. What do I have? I've got a couple one-to-ones booked in already this week, which is good. Also, I'm going to start trying to send out a few messages to invite some people along because we have a visitor day coming up at my chapter. So I'm going to be trying to focus on doing that this week, see if I can get anyone to come along. And that's just about it that I have on this week. Jake, how about you? What do you have on this week?
So fingers crossed I should be doing my interview for BNI this week. Also have a potential one-to-one outside of BNI, which should be good. And then also, just doing my scheduling today for Go Promote and Dify Adelaide, and then obviously engagements on Wednesday.
Okay, Hannah?
This week, scheduling, hopefully hear back from Awards Australia for a setup and planning. Is that right, Steve?
Yeah, it's sounding good. It's sounding promising. Yep.
And organising, I've got one organised. I need to try organise another one-to-one, and just my BNI on Wednesday.
Okay, Ben, I know you have to go soon, so I'll just ask you, then you can head off. We can't hear you.
There we go. BNI. So BNI Thursday. Got a chat with business coach who I connected with on LinkedIn. See if I can get her to invite to come as a guest on Thursday. Audit and consult on Thursday. Scheduling done. Wednesday engagement. So we're all good.
What time's the audit consult Wednesday? Do you want me to have a listen in, or what are you going to do? Are you face to face?
Wait, did I say audit and consult Wednesday? Audit and consult Thursday.
Yeah.
After my BNI. If you want to have a chat now one-to-one about what we want to go through, that'd be great. That'd be great, and then I could just do it face to face. I think
you'll smash it out. So I'm confident.
So yeah, if we just go through it Wednesday and then Thursday, I can just do it in person. Don't need to dial you in, and then we'll be all good.
Good plan.
All right, cool. All right, I've got to go.
See ya.
Peace out.
Emily, I think you have to go soon too.
Yeah, I have a 1-to-1 at 11. What do I have to do? Oh, I did all my scheduling. I have my BNI tomorrow, and then my Go for Green group right after, and then I have the 1-to-1 today, and then a 1-to-1 on Thursday that I had to reschedule from last week. So maybe I'll try to get one more, and then I have to prepare for my presentation next week. That's what I've got.
And you've got Roy 3 weeks in a row. He just keeps looking, and it's all good.
Yes, that's right. Which is great. It's totally, I'll take it. Yeah. So that's where I'm at.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm gonna head out and go meet with my 1-to-1. So bye, guys.
See ya.
Thanks, Emily. See
See
ya.
you, Emily.
Let's go, Andy. You frozen?
Yep.
There he's got
I'm
it.
just joining. Hello. Attending WBM and a bunch of scheduling. I'll message Jake when I'm done with his week. That's about it for this week.
And Hayley?
Yeah, just got to do some scheduling. And then BNI and organising some 1-to-1s. But yeah, pretty quiet week ahead, I think. Studying for some exams. That's it.
Yeah. Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thanks, guys. Still 8 days until I can say I'm a graduate.
Woohoo! Oh, we're going to celebrate that. Oh, that's what I didn't mention. Victoria's still on, aren't they? Are we anybody still gone from Victoria? So I emailed to book for next Monday at Third Wave. So I'll confirm that we've got that booking for next Monday's meeting. But I'll also and I'll let you know how I get on tomorrow.
So how are we running that meeting, Steve? Are we bringing our laptops and doing it?
Yeah, so laptops on desk, laptops on not desk. What do you call it? Table, dining table, and yeah, we'll have it. We'll eat and meet. Good practice for a blended BNI meeting, right? So in terms of I don't know if your chapter's talked about this yet, but I think they're waiting from global to hear what and how BNIs might look at like in the future, and whether they just go back to face, and or they just stay online, and or they do maybe one meeting a month offline, or 2 meetings a 1 month offline, and that's what they're talking about apparently. So as in they're talking about all those options, and they just need to work out with chapters what chapters believe is the best option for them, depending on where they are in the world, I guess. So we'll be doing one of those. So we'll be ahead of the curve. We'll have a go at a blended online for those people outside of Victoria, and offline eating for those ones that are in Victoria or in Melbourne. Yeah.
And Anthony?
So scheduling today. Tomorrow I have my BNI interview at 4 p.m. So I might come in late to the state of play. And hopefully the BNI on Friday. So yeah, otherwise I'm going to have to look for another one.
Nah, we got this.
Yeah.
We got
this. Definitely.
Yeah, we got this. And we should ask Andy Allen, what's the rest of your week look like, Andy Allen?
There you go.
I've
got the mouth working. Yeah, so my week, as I haven't mentioned anything particular, Adrian and Steve know, but I'm actually involved in another project altogether because travel's so dormant at the moment. I'm involved in a training business that we've set up and structured called the Institute of Workplace Training, and we're running COVID safe training for employees going back into the workplace. And it's one of the very few employee COVID safe training schemes in Australia outside of the DHHS that's running their own. So we've partnered with, and you'll be interested in this, Steve, ISTA, the International Security Training Academy. here in Victoria to put a COVID-safe security training plan together for the security fraternity. There's 35,000 security personnel in Victoria, either Cert 2, 3 or 4. And we're looking at putting this through the Vic Police as well to do the training through the security thing. So we're moving that forward with this stuff at the moment. So it's a rather big project. It's worth a few $100,000. So we'll move that forward. And also we've got a couple of other projects on the go with New South Wales government on COVID training and COVID marshals training with people like Simplot and Lamana Premier Group, some of the big businesses that have to have COVID marshals now. So it's been great. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I don't look as stressed as maybe other travel agents. I jumped, started a new business with a couple of people and saw an opportunity with COVID. So it's been exciting from that point of view.
Andy, can you, I was going to call you Andrew. We should call you Andrew, given we've got an Andy. Sorry, the seat of Andy. We only allow one name per chapter member here at Dify Social. So you'll have to take Andrew. Andrew, can you send
My mother
clearly as you mentioned, with Millennium and Secure Corp, there's a few people I can, if you think that's, maybe we have to take it offline, but send me the details. And it's fair to say, other than in marketing, security is the next best thing for me in terms of where my connections lie, just so you know. So
I'm well aware of your connections with security and the gym and the rest of it. But at the moment, ISTA, I think...
I'm harder than you think.
Yeah, well, we can take this offline, Steve, because ISTA are going to drive this through the security fraternity, because we're just doing we have a standard 9-module course that takes about an hour to complete, but we're putting a top and a tail on it with a video case study at the top and the tail to make it more have a security bent, and it will come out as a COVID course for the security fraternity. Yeah, still got to come up with a name for it yet, but that's a minor thing. We'll do that this week and develop it. And then the case study is being shot this week with one of the partners of ISTA. So look, that's beginning to all take shape and happen. But I'll talk to you separately.
Sounds cool. Awesome. Any parting words from anybody? Anybody need to stay on while I anybody need a couple of minutes? Otherwise, we'll see everybody tomorrow.
Yeah. Thanks for the presentation, Andrew.
Yeah, cheers, Andy.
Thank you so much for coming.
Appreciate it.
All right. See you guys.
Thank you, Andrew.
See you guys.
Well done
Have a good
again,
week.
Hannah. That was awesome.
Thank you. Fantastic. Thank you.
See you guys.